Yeah, my name is Mgunga. Mgunga Mnyenyelwa. It's a very long name. Mgunga Mnyenyelwa. I'm the founder of Babawatoto Center and the executive director of Babawatoto Center for the time being. I'm a renowned artist. More than 20 years I've been in the arts, in theater. So basically I'm coming from a background of theater and done a lot in terms of theater practice, teaching and production. And
is this an NGO?
Yes. So this is an NGO. Is registered as board of trustees. It's called, as you have seen, Babawatoto Center, and Baba, is father. Watoto, children. So it's like father of the children's center. I think it's important also to say something about this name. Why is called Babawatoto? Why not Mama Watoto? Why not mother of the children? Why father of the children? The whole idea of gender equity and gender equality. Now there have been a lot of struggle to empower girls and women to come to the level with men. But a lot of organizations, they have been using an approach which I call a blaming approach. For a lot of organizations working in gender, they have been blaming men for not being good. We thought that probably that's not very helpful. Blaming. Boys are raised that way. It's a socialization. It's the way men were raised in their families. If it's a patriarchy, it's a man dominance, but it's because the way they are raised, the way they are socialized. So you don't need to blame them. You need to inspire them, to make them feel bad for what they are doing. For men to know that, okay, if I also embrace my daughter and I treat the boy and the girl equally, it's very good for the family. So you inspire, you motivate men to be good men instead of blaming men. So we decided to use Babawatoto so that we did most first with the men to change their thinking about women and about girls. And so what we do as the organization, so when we registered this organization, we were motivated by gender issues, but also the kind of life that we saw in that area where the center is. So how we started that center is because there were a lot of crime. It's an area of poverty. There are a lot of killings. Youth and children were doing these petty robberies, and they are killed by mob justice, so they call mob justice. So it was very bad. So we said, okay, we can't help individual. We can't give help to one person. We need to have a space and put all these youth there and children. And if anybody wants to help these children and the youth, he comes to the center. He can then help a bigger number of them than helping one person. But also, we need also to have a center so that we help these boys and girls to be rehabilitated, because mentally they are using marijuana, a lot of drugs. But then we thought, okay, which strategy is good to have this kind of rehabilitation or treatment or healing? We felt like arts does better. Arts and culture is the best. And because we are coming from the background of arts, so it's good now to merge arts and behavior change. We combine this, and when we combine this, then we get good output. Now it's an NGO, and as you say, NGO depends much on grants, and it's challenge. All the time it's challenge. Since we started 2006, we had no grants. We only got from Danish embassy for 1 year, I think. No, not even a year, for 1 year. But we tried our best to do consultants, to sell our expertise. Because we in the team in the organization has very strong expertise in participatory approaches, in behavior science, in arts. So we started using this expertise to sell to other NGOs. So it's like they have, for example, they have anniversary, they have events, creations. So we created, and some amount of money was given to us, and that helped to run the center. And sometimes we go as individual consultants, train artists on how to use art for behavior change, on how to use art for community mobilization, on how to be an effective community mobilizers. Those are the expertise that we have. On how to work with the children, how to work with the youth. So a lot of organizations they are lacking in those expertise. Or behavior change communication materials. Yes, for posters, for radio jingle, TV spots. Okay, so all those expertise we were selling to organizations, and then we get some income. We come and pay rent. We get some income. We come and pay small stuff. We were only 2 or 3 at that time. But then, of course, we through our work, then we came. The cognition became stronger, and we got this good partner called Save the Children.
Oh, Save the Children.
Yes. So we did the first work in emergency during floods. There was a lot of rains here in Salaam, 2012. A lot of rains, and then there was floods.
Okay.
And then people were displaced. A lot of people were displaced, and were put in a camp outside the city. So we provided this psychosocial support through creative arts. So we combined a lot of expertise, and then we did the psychosocial support for the internally displaced children. So we went to the camp, and we did a very good job. And then after that came another flood that happened in another region, in Morogoro actually. In Morogoro, on your way to Dodoma.
Okay.
So Save the Children again, they wanted to respond. They came to us and they said, okay, can we work together? Yes, we went. So they paid us some money again to do that job. 15, I think. Then came now this big refugees issue now from Burundi crisis. So Save the Children wanted to respond and said, can you work together? I said yes. So that's where they gave us a grant to do in the refugees. So that was also another source of income, because the grant was adequate enough to pay for staff there and a little bit here, but also to pay some other costs. In each camp we have school, primary school, and we have ECCD, program, and then we have the safe space, the CFS they call children safe space for the out of school children, so that they come somewhere in the space which is well done, and then they have various activities there at the center. So we have 2, say in one camp, we have 2 in another camp. So the grant we get from that Save the Children helps us to run the organization. Now from there, of course, then we got also a lot of empowerment and capacity building on running the organization. Making the systems work. Have financial systems, have a strong board of trustees, have all the things that needed for the organization. So Save the Children has really done a good job for us, and so that gave us chance also to employ other staff. So now at least we are now raising now funds, writing proposal, find if there is a possibility of an NGO that we can get funds in partnership. So we have written several proposals. Yes, and some are in pipeline. They seems to be, maybe they will work. So in short, the sources of funds is through grants, which we are working now on, struggling to find partners, but also selling expertise. Those are the main, and of course donations. Donations like we had friends in Sweden, the artists from Gothenburg Theatre, so they said, okay, we will be contributing to pay a salary for one staff. I was very excited when you mentioned about youth workers, because at least now we have one who is now studying his diploma at Open University on diploma on youth. And because we need now to train people to get this education on exactly on youth. So we are here, we are in Kibondo and the Kasulu refugee camps, and we are in the Mgunga region, which is 400 kilometers from Morogoro. So there we work in schools, on arts education, so we train teachers, primary school teachers, because the current situation here is that the art subjects almost perished. They died in schools.
Really?
Those programs were not there. So we are trying to revive. So we are train teachers, and provided some supplies, drums, and the musical instruments, acoustic, in these rural areas, because in rural areas, as you know, they are very disadvantaged because they don't have television, they don't have electricity. So students there are very low, very low, because there are no activities, not much activities happening for the children and in schools. So we said if we start arts programs in schools, maybe that will make them strong. So we started in few schools because of resources, because there we have no any donor. We are doing it ourselves, no donor. We're office there, but they are only volunteers. So we have few schools, but only in very small area. We have 8 schools now. So that is in Mgunga. But also in Mgunga, we work now on the area of again psychosocial support for children and the youth living with HIV/AIDS, because that's the area of my expertise. So one of the areas that we came interested was to help these children and the youth who have HIV/AIDS, because they are born with it, and then they are very traumatized, especially when they get to the youth age. Very traumatized. So we use now all these creative arts and other psychosocial support activities to bring them in one piece. And we did some pilots somewhere, and it worked very well. Tell the potential donors. Maybe you can get donors by showing what exactly we have been doing. So we are now still in a piloting again. We are working there. So that's in short. Otherwise, in terms of programs, we do child protection. So those are programs we do: child protection. We do arts and sport development. Even in sport, I didn't mention. So child protection, arts and sport development, and education. These are the main programs. And we have really rescued. A lot of youth. Some were still very young, and now they are grown up. And one of the dominant art form now, which is very strong, is acrobats and dance. So a lot of them they graduated, and then they started getting contracts on their own. Went to get a contract in Israel, and the others were in Turkey. And then there was also in London. But they coming from very, very harsh environments. They are very poor. They are engaging in crime, but now they are doing fine because at least they have something to sell. So the other program which I didn't mention is vocational education. So we have, for the time being, we have tailoring class for girls. So I hope one day we can bring us tailoring machines. Those are the girls, because they are very vulnerable, so you have to find something to keep them busy.
Good. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.